first started doing comedy, I would wear a fedora and I'd get up just talking about how much I love sucking dick. I think the audience was more confused about my sexuality than I was.
But I genuinely found out for the first time like 7 months ago that like queefing is like that's a real thing. Like I put it in the same category as like a drop bear. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, nearly there. Keep going. No, not there. Yeah, okay. I've had an orgasm. Sick.
Welcome to the Hookup Live. My name's Dee Salmon.
I'm Pip Rasmussen, and thank you so much to everyone selling out our show in 24 hours.
My God.
What? I can't believe we had a full house. We thought we were getting trolled.
I thought that when our boss told us that we'd sold out the show, I thought someone had bought all of the tickets just to troll. We do have some haters in the DM.
Yeah, we do have haters, and we are Triple J's most complained about shows. So
yeah, if someone has dragged you along for some reason, you've never heard of the Hookup before, we are the Love, Sex, Dating, Relationship podcast on Triple J. So yeah, you're going to get some spicy stories here today.
Yeah, should I start?
Yeah, go on. What's your secret?
I'm in my single era at the moment, and my confession. Oh,
yeah, love that.
Love it. Hi, see you after the show. Yeah, no, so I went on a really hectic date last year and it was like everything, like you could not write it. It was like satire. So the guy rocked up to the date on a skateboard. Unfortunately, it did work for me. I was like, that's kind of hot.
When she told me that, I was like, Pip, that was the first red flag. What do you mean?
I was into it personally. But yeah, so he rocked up and then he was really chill. Like he was really spaced out. And I was like, oh, maybe he's just like a nonchalant guy. I was asking him about his day and he was like, oh yeah, I took a mushroom before I came here. So that was cool. I was like, okay, cool. And then we were doing shots because I was like nervous, I think, and he'd squeezed like lime in his eye before doing a shot.
And that was like a macho thing, right? He was like, look what I can do.
Yeah, and I asked him and I was literally like, why'd you do that? And he was like, I just want to feel something. Like, I'm shit you not, he said that. And I was like, holy shit. And at that point I was like, this is good content. I'm strapping in. We're staying for the date.
This was like 3 hours of a date as well.
Because you know an episode could be like a whole episode about this. So I was like, we're doing it for the plot at this point. Anyway, I said, I've got to go meet some friends in the city because I was trying to get out of there. And he was like, oh, I'm going to go get a tattoo after this. You don't want to come? I was like, nah, I'm good. But what are you getting? And he said he was getting Santa's little helper from The Simpsons smoking a dart. And I was like, I fuck with you so hard, but see ya. So that was my bad date story. What about you?
Oh God, how much time do we have?
Yeah, I know.
Like Pip's in her single era for the first time. I had a single era that lasted 8 years. So I've got a whole spreadsheet of stories.
In the trenches.
I was in the trenches. I once went on a date with a guy who said he was going to cook me his famous fish tacos and then asked me to go to the markets and pick up the fish on the way.
And in this economy,
I know. I was like, he wanted the market fresh. I'm like, God, no, doll. What about frozen from Coles? I had the date where the guy, like we hooked up overnight, woke up the next morning. Normally you say, all right, see you later. And he just wasn't getting any of the hints and proceeded to stay in my bed until 6 p.m. that night. Me and my housemate Brendan, we were vacuuming, we were cooking dinner, and it actually got to the point where I had to like physically get dressed to leave to go out. Like, I'm leaving now, and then he eventually left.
Oh my God.
And then there was the guy where we hooked up, same thing overnight. I woke up the next morning, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, I've just got to take this call." This was during COVID, so he was working from home, and his work laptop was like in the bedroom above his bed. Proceeded to do a PowerPoint presentation meeting that lasted for 2 hours while I was in the bed and couldn't move.
These men are obsessed with you, though. They were literally like trying to maximize D time. I think this is a compliment.
I didn't think about it in that way.
I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a lot of my stories.
Yeah.
But we do have an incredible lineup tonight. We have a bunch of comedians who are going to be jumping on this stage before we hear your confessions, who are going to share some really, really funny hookup stories as well.
Yes, so coming up tonight, you're going to be hearing from Maddy Weeks. We've got Blake Pavey, Sez, Anissa Nandala, and Hunter Smith closing us out. Give it up for them! I can't believe you guys all bought tickets before before knowing the lineup. Like we
I know,
sold
we didn't
out.
even announce the lineup yet, and everyone was like, "Oh, we'll be there."
I'm so
We'll be there.
flattered. I'm so flattered that people were like, "Yeah, I'll spend 90 minutes with these girls." No, we are not comedians, but we'll try our best. But let's bring out our first comedian, Maddy Weeks.
Maddie, welcome.
How you doing? Oh, I'm still drunk from last night. Hell yeah. No, I'm
That is
kidding.
every comedian that's like at the comedy fest.
Backstage right now, they're all like, "Oh,
They're really hung.
Look, so you're obviously here at Comedy Fest doing your show. It's all good.
Yes, I am.
When we read the bio, Pip and I haven't seen it yet, but don't worry, we will. The bio said it's about queer love and couples therapy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's a good one. You should all check it out. Plug. Please come.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you currently in couples therapy with your girlfriend now?
Yes, we are. We've been going for almost a year now. My girlfriend and I. We're still together.
Oh, love
Spoiler alert. Yeah, we're going. We're really enjoying it. It's not something I ever imagined myself going to. Because for me, I'm just imagining couples therapy is just for old boomers that are going to get divorced, you know. But it's actually hip now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun experience, and it's also good for me as someone with ADHD. I don't remember my own life, so it's good to have my girlfriend there to cut me off when I say, "No, it's been a great week," and she's like, "What about this, this?" You cried 5 times. I have written it all down.
You're literally, taking that out of the brain, going like this.
No, we've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we're good. We're happy.
So when you first started going to therapy, because I think that I don't know who in the room has gone to therapy before, but for me it was one of those things where I thought I would go. I love the one word. Where you would go and be like, oh, and and this person's a fucking this, and these people ruined my life, and blah blah blah. And then you have that moment where the therapist will be like, have you ever thought that you're the problem? Did you have that experience as well?
Yeah, I did. Like, I went in there just thinking, I think our relationship's pretty great. Like, I'm an awesome partner. And then the more sessions we did, it was like when you clean your house, and the more you clean, the dirtier you realise it is. And you're like, oh my God, who put all this dirt here? Me, I guess. And I started to realise that I'm not a great partner. Oh my goodness. Like, my girlfriend is a climate change scientist.
Oh, wow.
And
so hero material.
And I do comedy, yeah. And I was always the one, she's supporting me so much through my comedy festival shows. She's taking time off work to help me out. And I'm like, maybe you should get back to saving the planet. I don't know, that feels a bit selfish, eh? It just was an eye-opening moment. And it's not about putting the blame on one person either. I never felt attacked, but it was just realising that, relationships, there's 2 people in them, and you actively need to show your partner you love them. You can know that in your head, but if your actions aren't showing it, they're not going to feel that.
Maddie, are you invoicing everyone? Because this is some free advice. This is good.
Yeah, I had to pay a lot of money for this. You're welcome.
And here you are therapizing us. No, I live. This is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of your girlfriend, you weren't always dating women, right?
No, unfortunately not. I made a lot of mistakes in my early 20s. Look, I know I'm queer, by the way. You know that. It took me a long time to figure it out. It was until I was 21 I thought I was straight.
Right.
And I've looked like this since I was 12.
Well, you brought a story today sort of to do with a first boyfriend, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, God, yeah.
I cannot wait to hear this.
This is traumatizing. Okay, yeah, all right. The first guy I ever properly dated, he was a SoundCloud rapper.
Love it.
Yeah, and we met at a gig, and when I first started doing comedy, I would wear a fedora, a bow tie, and a vest. Whoa. And I'd get up just talking about how much I love sucking dick. I think the audience was more confused about my sexuality than I was. They're like, I don't think they know. I had no idea. I was like, I'm such a good ally. Yeah, I really care about queer rights for some reason. Oh, it hurts me. But we met, and he saw me do that set, and we got a drink after, and then we started hanging out, going on dates, and I ended up losing my virginity to him.
Ooh.
It was in a hotel room, pretty classy.
Oh.
And I know, it's cool. And before we did the deed, we were watching Judge Judy for an hour.
Because that gets everyone hot and heavy.
Oh, yeah. I was turned on. I was like, why do I feel ready to have sex?
She is kind of a big dom energy though. Like,
I'd let her,
imagine.
yeah. Oh
That'd
my
be
gosh.
kind of hot.
She's powerful. So I was good to go. Not because of him. But we did the deed, and I lost my virginity to him, and I lost my virginity to the song "The Nosebleed Section" by the Hilltop Hoods. And look, that's not a bad song, sure, but no, it was his rendition of it. A cappella.
Like on a loop pedal?
Oh,
Like
just on the Bluetooth speaker, on repeat.
How did he tell you it was his? How did he intro? Was it
No,
like, let
he
me
just,
let me just put on some music?
Something you might like, and I'm listening to it. Jesus, no, I hate this. Just start to finish. I did not finish. But we still dated for an entire year after that.
Whoa.
Maddie!
Oh my God! I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so instead we dated and he fell in love, and then I broke his heart, so that's good.
This is giving like therapy, people pleasing. We're drawing in on that.
Yeah, it was tricky.
Okay, so you dated for such a long time, you lost the virginity, and then he was a SoundCloud rapper, as you said. Mm-hmm. When you broke up with him, was there like an album or something afterwards?
Yeah, let the people know.
Yes. He released a 6-track rap album about me, and it is entitled Funny Girl. It's just sadly like the best review my comedy's ever gotten. But you can look it up, it is true. I'm non-binary now, so maybe change it to funny person, I don't know. If you're a real ally, if you're listening, you probably will be. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he released it, and it is... Oh my God, I've never experienced that in my life, like having to listen to breakup songs that are about me. And they're pretty horrendous. No, we're on good terms, it's okay. He's a chiller.
Did he, like, yeah, okay, so you're on good terms. Did you
Yeah.
ever talk about, like, the album and you were like, did you ever suspect, like, the bow tie?
Well,
the
yeah,
vest?
no, he didn't. He was like, no, it was a real shock. I'm like, are you stupid?
Aww.
He was shocked, yeah. So we even, like, after we broke up, we did a marriage equality fundraiser gig together. It was like a variety show. He came on stage, performed the album, and then I had to come up after him and perform. And I came on and I was like, hey guys, yeah, funny girl here. And everyone laughed, but then I started doing my material about him, and everyone was like, oh shit, this is real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's incredible.
It's
Maddie,
so good.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
sharing your
much.
confession.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, I think it's time to bring up the next comedian. Everyone give it up for Blake Pavey!
Thank you very much for having me. I
Blake, no,
appreciate it.
thank you. This
thanks
is
for coming.
your second hookup appearance, I believe.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes.
You did an episode with Pip last year, and
Yes.
we got a very huge complaint
What a shocker. All right.
after that episode.
So
What,
we
from
did
something I said?
it may have been a bit of everybody. It was you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Dee went away.
Yeah.
It was a joint effort.
Famously, whenever I am on holiday, there are huge complaints that come through.
Yeah.
So I'll come back from, I don't know, sunning myself somewhere, and people will be like, so, I need to tell you about something.
It's actually so true. It's so
every
fucked up. I'm so sorry.
There was the one where Pip went on breakfast and said, bussy juice,
Yeah.
at like
Yeah.
7 a.m. where everyone was driving their kids to school.
Yeah, who thought? I couldn't say that. I didn't know. And our boss at the time was like, I had to explain to someone in the ABC who deals with complaints and had to explain what pussy juice is. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks a fucking lot. There was also, we got a handwritten letter like 2 days ago.
I got a handwritten letter a couple of days ago where the guy really wrote out that like full on essayed that I had like not done enough research, and then proceeded to give me some songs as examples of like why the research was wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Sorry, my dad's crazy like that. He's fucking, you know.
I didn't catch on the Pavey, Mr.
Yeah.
Pavey.
Yeah, Mr. Pavey. And also we've had YouTubers try and take
Oh,
us
God,
down.
yeah.
You're on YouTube, right? With your pod?
Yeah. I think I don't run it. I actually don't. I don't
just
know.
rock
Actually,
up.
I actually don't know what we're on. Probably. I assume so.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not that good at admin.
It's like
but,
the Wild Wild
I
West
don't know
on
if
YouTube.
you're like into YouTube community, but there are some pretty funny people on there.
That's great stuff.
And they like doing like there's like YouTube essay bros, right? And they do takedowns. We did get like a takedown from like anonymous guy.
Yeah. Famously friendly Geordies one time, because I did a story about crystal dildos, which he didn't like that taxpayers were paying for.
Yeah. Again,
we all
most
needed
complained
it.
about shows. So
That's
but
the
we're
one
bringing
thing I
content.
want my taxpayer money to go to. That's the one thing.
See, this is why we got you here. Thank you so much. But we also got you here because you have a confession, a story to tell us.
Yeah, mine's not really, it's not even really a hookup story. It's just like, I wish it ended in a hookup story, but I just don't have a lot of luck with women, just in general. I'm just not good. Like, I found it like, this is genuinely, people, I say it during my stand-up show and people think it is a joke, but I genuinely found out for the first time like 7 months ago that that like queefing is like that's a real thing. Like,
What do you mean?
like my
it was
entire life, I
before?
thought it was like a made-up thing. Like that girls were just like making up the entire
As an
time.
excuse for farting.
Exactly, yeah. I thought it was like, do you know what I mean? I put it in the same category as like a drop bear. Do you know what I mean? Like, just like a made-up thing like Santa Claus or like the clitoris or something like that. I thought it was like a...
Now I know why you're not having any luck.
I know. But man, no, but the story I did have was, I tour a lot. I just travel. Most of my years is traveling around the country, and I was single for about 6 months. Like the last 6 months, like back in a new relationship now. But the 6 month dry period was a desolate wasteland for my genitals. It was like. It was just like there was just not a single bit of success. I ended up. It was the worst date I've ever been on, and it was in a town called Bunbury in.
Shout out.
What's that?
I lived there for like 3 years.
I'm so sorry. I will admit, I did. This is so embarrassing. I paid for Tinder Passport to and it costs way too much money for what I was getting in return from that app, right?
Wow.
But I went on this date and I finished a couple of shows there, and it was 1 a.m. and I matched with somebody on Tinder, and they were like, they hit me up. It's 1 a.m. on Tinder. You know what the vibe is when that happens. And she sent, oh my God, I missed your shows tonight. I was like, oh, that's all right. And then she was like, oh my God. Anyway, and then just like sent me her address. This was like the second message she sent me, and I was like, let's go. This is so awesome, dude. It was like the quickest turnaround time I've ever had in my life. Like, I rang my dad. He was so proud of me, dude. Like, he was stoked, dude. And like the way we get around on tour is we have to, when we're in places that regional, we have to hire from the airport like a 12-seater Hertz van. And the people that tour with me, it's like me and 7 other dudes that just look like another generic version of me. Like Temu Dom dollars all like gathering in to a van, all right? And so... like, I get this message and I say to my mate Tyler, who usually drives the van, hey man, can you please take me to this address? It's like 45 minutes out of Bunbury as well. Like it was a journey, all right? Like we felt like the Hobbit, dude. We were going on an adventure, right? But I don't know if you guys know how vehicles work. Only one person needs to drive the vehicle for you to get to that location. And as soon as I said, can someone give me a lift? Every single dude on tour was just like, yeah, we're going, all right? And we all just like loaded up. It was like a SWAT team mission, dude. It was like, so we get in and we drive like 45 minutes out of Bunbury, and it's so, like, this is so regional. They like, it was like, I don't know if you know much about the economy of Bunbury. They like only just recently got street lights. So like that's like, and it was just so dark. We couldn't see anything. We drive out and we get to where we think the address is, but we can't see. So we just like parked in the middle of the road. The engine's just blaring. You can hear this thing a mile away. And we were like, oh, is this the house? Like, is this a house? I don't know if this is the house. We found out it was the house because like we just saw a light turn on in the lounge room and the blinds just went. And like we were so freaked out at that. That was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But then I thought about it like 3 days later. It would have been way creepier on her end. Just like 8 dudes just like, where is she? Like, bring her to me. Like,
and also, don't they, like, everyone regionally, like, everyone owns guns because they're, like, farmers. It's, like, a regional thing.
Well, that was the thing. It backed onto a farm as well.
Right.
Like, I thought the dad was going to come out on the porch, which is like,
Yeah.
And it was so grim. But she comes out and we're doing like the awkward small talk when you first meet. And she doesn't take me through the front door. She takes me around to like this weird little side gate, and we go into like her back patio, and we were just sitting there. But I'd done a couple of shows. I hadn't been home yet. I was like, hey, can I use your bathroom? Like, I haven't been home yet. And she was like, oh, you can't. You're not allowed to go inside. I was like, why can't I go inside? And she was like, oh, well, my family's in there at the moment, all right? And I thought that just meant mum, dad, and maybe a sibling. No, they were having like a full family reunion, and it was like 30 people in there, dude. It was just like cousins, grandparents, the whole gang, and I was just there in the back patio. So she was like, "No, you can go and pee on the fence." I had to piss on an electric fence, and I come back and we're just talking, and it's not like. Something's not clicking, all right? Evidently so. We both knew the vibe was off. And she just stops me mid-conversation and she goes, "So did you bring a pen or a paper or anything like that?" I was like, "I don't usually bring pens and paper to my Tinder dates." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was just so perplexed. And she just got really angry that I hadn't brought a pen or a paper. And she was like, "Oh, fine, I'll go get one." I was like, "What are you doing?" All right? And she disappeared for 30 minutes back inside. I literally can't, that's not even an exaggeration. She was looking for pens and paper for half an hour, and she comes back out. And you know when your mum brings you home a Kinder Surprise and she's got it behind her back really cheekily? That's what she had in her hand. She brought out, she had a Sharpie in one hand, and this is going to confuse the audience, and I do not expect a reaction, but she brought out in her other hand, instead of paper, she brought out 2 ceiling fan remotes, all right? I don't know what that meant, all right? And I was like, "What is happening right now?" And she was like, "Oh, well, this is all I had," all right? And I was like, "That was the second thing, after paper? That's what you went with?" And then it turns out she just brought me, she made me travel 45 minutes to her house just so I could sign an autograph for her, right? And dude, I was livid, dude. But also, what a weird item to sign, because just in 3 months, when it gets hot again in WA, her mum's gonna go to turn on the fan and just be like, "Who is Blake Pavey?" Just and so I had to get out of there. So I'm not even sure. Oh, I wish I brought the photo. I literally signed her 2 ceiling fan remotes, and she was like, "Thank you so much. Oh my God, this was such an honour." And then she kicked me out. All right. And I had to jump the fence, and I had to pay for a taxi all the way back, and it cost me $197, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is about the same as what it costs to do Tinder Passport as well. But yeah, and I wish it ended in a hookup, but it didn't. No.
Oh,
that's on you also for inferring that it would have been.
She messaged me at 1 a.m. on Tinder.
The message, the booty call, the address.
Yeah.
Blake, that's an incredible story. Thank you
That
so
is insane.
Thank you. I appreciate
my God.
it.
Give it up for Blake.
Let's give it up for our third comedian of the day, Sez.
We're good. How are you?
We're good that you're here now.
I just, I'm bloody honoured to be here, really.
Yeah?
Cumfessions.
You like the hookup? Big fan?
Guys, you've kind of educated me in a lot of ways, yeah, to be honest. I'm just going to take this out for a second.
Yeah, no, do it.
Oh, yeah. No, this is you just do such a good job at explaining everything. It's crazy.
Thank you so much.
Even in high school, I listened to it. I forget who the last time.
Really? I mean, hookup has been going for a long time.
Yeah, it has been going for a long time. Well, your show at Melbourne International Comedy Fest is called Keeps Me Young.
Yes.
What's it all about?
Well, it feels good to be here because it's kind of about... I had a conversation with my cousin who's 19 at the pub, and she was just like, "I went to this nightclub and I was so embarrassing and I was the worst." And I really thought she was going to tell me this super fucked up story. But yeah, she was like, "I was such an embarrassment." And then I was like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" And she's like, "I just was a bit awkward." And I'm like, "Wait, sorry, what?" And then I realised she obviously went through the pandemic year 11, year 12, year 10. So I was like, damn, my younger Gen Z, because I'm an elder Gen Z, I guess, Gen Z, Australia, they're struggling and they think that they're embarrassing and weird. So I was like, I'm just going to make a show with all my most embarrassing experiences. But obviously my frontal lobe came in. I realised they were so important, to just be a mess. And I told her all these stories, and then she's like, "Actually, I'm fine." I'm like, "Yeah, seriously, it could have been way worse, babe. Yeah, you were awkward at a club. I was vomiting in a gutter in Berlin. It's, and that was the chillest thing that's happened, really."
Well, this is kind of perfect theme for our show as well, because
Yes.
those moments are pivotal for you. All your wrongs are actually keeping you young, which is, I believe, in your bio.
Literally, and I honestly have so much bad like relationship stories too, which is hard because that's like a red flag to some people. But I'm like, it doesn't count before 30 or 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or before 40 or 50 or 60. You just got to live your life. You know what I mean?
I just hope that one day girlies like us will be sitting around in our 60s going, I remember when you asked me to bring the fish. You know, I'm like, we've got to have something to talk about. We've got to have content.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Speaking of, everyone who knows you knows that you do a lot of musical comedy. So your story is actually going to be a song today.
Yeah, guys. I'm different to the rest.
I think this song might be the biggest hit of the year. So hopefully, I'm just launching it here. But it is in my show, if you do. I'm sorry. Lying. Sorry.
No, this is good. Do we need to know a little bit about it before we go in, or are you just going to like raw dog this?
We're just going to go straight into it.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, give it up for Sez.
All right. This song is about a special milestone in anyone's life. All right. First orgasm. Yeah, thanks for the claps. Let's... Orgasms, you know, it's crazy. Let me take you back to when I was 17. Jeremy from the footy team showed me what an orgasm means. He flicked around downstairs for 2 minutes or less. Did you feel that? He said. No. Then he said, that was your first orgasm. Oh my God, guys, I just had my first orgasm. Shit. Thank you, Jeremy. You removed all the mystery. I know an orgasm is a state of mind, not a physical feeling that changes your life. It was so quick, so extreme, so out of body. I did not feel a thing. Trippy, man. The years pass by, I have a few relationships, 8 situationships, and you know what I've learned is an orgasm is just like when the other person is really tired. You know, or whether it's oral or hands or whatever, something's been moving down there a while. Maybe just poking at your left flap for an hour, you know, and you feel like you're a car in a car wash and the car has finished being washed, so to let the other person know you're done, you just go...
Yeah, nearly there. Keep going. No, not there. Yeah, okay.
I've had an orgasm. Sick. Then on my 25th birthday, my friend gave me a vibrator, and we love vibrators. And I really don't need a vibrator, because I'm like organically orgasming all the time. But I thought, you know what, I'll go home and give it a try. And I put on the movie Interstellar. Yeah. With Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. The film score is amazing. And as they're flying up to space, I turn the device on. 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off. And within 20 seconds, I started to realise my first orgasm wasn't with Jeremy when I was 17. It was on my IKEA couch alone at 25. Okay. Yeah. Woo! Matthew McConaughey was crying in space. Yeah. Shit. I guess I'm the best sex I ever had. I really thought it was Dylan who worked at Hungry Jack's. Guys, I feel like Benjamin Franklin when he invented electricity. Honestly, it's fine. I don't need your sympathy. Like, of course it was going to happen this way. I mean, look at me. I was always going to be the first one to get me laid. First orgasm. Yeah. So she was like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing. And I'm like, well, have you had an orgasm yet? You know what I mean? Like, But yeah, it do be like that. I feel like this is a safe space.
Oh, God, yeah. Did you hear the
yeah.
cheers when you said vibrator?
Yeah.
Literally, it's so funny because like it's like full-on method acting vibes because I think I got like probably halfway there till I was 25, right? But because I was kind of brainwashed, I thought that was an orgasm. So I don't even blame all the people I've had sex with. It's a lot of people. Like I genuinely would be like, yeah! And then one day, yeah, with this vibrator, I'm not even joking, I was like, holy shit. And I'm bisexual too, and I'm a bottom. So I'm like, holy fuck, like, I'm glad I'm not a top. Because, like, I don't know what an orgasm is, but now I know. We're all good. Yeah.
Love it. Everyone
Oh
give it
my
up
God,
for Sez.
I remember we did an interview with a sexologist once, and she blew my mind because she was like, the vibrator, that's literally what it's been designed to do, is to give people orgasms. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid of them.
Oh, yeah.
Fellas.
That's their job.
Also, sorry, I see this one light shining on that guy and he smiled at me and I was like,
You're like, maybe I'm the comedian.
Coming up on part 2 of our Confessions live show.
I think our first date was like at Subway, and he bought me a 6-inch, and he's like, "You could get a cookie." I was like, "I can get a cookie."
Now, with Big Dick Phil, the clue's in the name, right? His name's Phil, and he's got a big personality.
I was like, well, threesome, huh? He's like, but we can. And I'm like,
hell yeah.
hell yeah. I had a bit of a salsa dance with him and like these big MMA fighters, and he stitched me up.
She gets down on all fours and I'm just like walking her for laps around her coffee table.
You're like a closeted furry, though.
I am famously a non-practicing furry.
Yeah.
Oh, every day I expose myself more and more on this show.